So the panel that I had picked out today is on page 20, and it's about in the middle of the page. And on this panel, we see Teak and her femme girlfriend talking to a pregnant woman in a hetero relationship, and it says, dealing with straight people who assume that your femme girlfriend must be the pregnant one. And the heterosexual woman says, so how far along are you, Veronica? And she says, not far at all. And there's some essence of humor with this panel because the woman is asking Teak's girlfriend how far along she is when Teak is obviously the pregnant one. And basically, aside from this humor, a real meaning develops in the essence of societal norms. And the societal norm of a heterosexual relationship with one carrying masculine roles, such as being the bread maker, the strong head of the family, etc. And while the other in the relationship plays the feminine role, being caring, sensitive, a housewife, dependent. And my thesis basically about this panel is that people search for heteronormative constructs in the LGBTQ plus community and in their relationships to prove for a sense of validity of their relationship by comparing it to heterosexual relationships. These categories of masculinity and femininity, they basically are like social norms in society, and a lot of the times they frame most of the thinking of relationships and how they are structured in society as well. And a lot of the times, heterosexual people do not understand or do not try to understand relationships outside of the heteronormative sphere of it all. And so people will draw examples from like their own experiences and what they know themselves to stereotype other people. And just because their views on relationships have a masculine and like feminine normative, they will automatically assume that other relationships represent that idea as well, instead of like actually trying to educate themselves on the LGBTQ plus community. When people ask LGBTQ plus people in relationships who is the male in the relationship and who is essentially the female in the relationship, they treat it as if it's a matter of the LGBTQ plus relationships aren't valid unless there is a sense of relating it to heterosexual relationships. Like, there's no validity unless it's somewhat like the societal norm. And since heterosexual relationships are the societal norm, people will search for like comparisons in LGBTQ plus relationships with heterosexual relationships to validate these relationships to make them more compared to the societal norms of heteronormativity. And since Teak is displayed as the more masculine one, she is expected to play the male role, and the femme one is the one assumed to bear the child because she has more feminine characteristics. And these social and gender constructs are embedded as a society. So to validate these relationships that aren't normal in society, society basically tries to push heteronormativity upon these relationships.